Hey everybody, I'm Brian with Knox Company, and I'm going to show you how to change out your hose spigot yourself. This is an upgrade that I think every house needs, and we are going to be switching from this old one that we have here. It came with the house when it was built, and we're going to be upgrading to this nice new one, and it has a couple new features that I think everybody should enjoy. So I'm going to walk you through step by step and show you what you need and where you can get those parts and some of the benefits and why I think everybody should have one. So what we're starting with is something that you probably see on every house. It's the normal twist top type of hose spigot, and the problem that we have is that we see ourselves using the hose more often, and every time we have to turn it on and off, you have to turn it 2, 3, 4 times just to get full hose pressure, and then you have to turn it just as many times to turn it back off. So with these new ones, it's just a quarter turn and a quarter turn. So a quick little turn and you have full water pressure, your hose is being used like it should, and you have full power. So I want to switch this out. Also, sometimes these are getting old and corroded, or you'll see that the hard water out here where we're at, it will seize up these spigots, and this is another reason why people sometimes want to change them out. In my situation, I have a 3/4 inch connection at the spigot, so that's what I'm going to be looking for here. I'm going to find myself a male, that's the threaded side spigot, and it's going to be 3/4 inches, and they have some 1/2 inch ones and 3/4 inch ones when you're looking at the hardware store. These new ones, these quarter turns, are a little bit more expensive, and they run maybe $12 to $14, but we're also going to be adding a vacuum brake. That is something that when I was building this casita, or this shop that I'm in right now, the code required that I have not just the new spigots, but it also has the vacuum brakes, and that was something that would not pass on the inspections when we're doing our final inspection. It's the little things like that that I learned that the inspector will easily just see and not pass you. So I got those installed, but there also is a benefit to them. But for code, when we were doing a new build, they wanted to see those on the spigots or else they were not going to pass us. But this is something I'm just going to stay consistent with this new one. So we're going to do the new spigot, and we're also going to do the vacuum brake, and I'll show you guys how to install them. And real quick, if you haven't already, please hit like on the video. If you find it helpful, please consider subscribing. I also make t-shirts, and I'll link them here in the video below. This is just one of my new designs, but you can find the t-shirts on my website. They're usually like 20 bucks, and right now I have a discount code where you can get a t-shirt for like $15. Something fun I do on the side, and everything's made by myself for you guys. Everything has an American flag on the sleeve, some cool designs, so consider grabbing a shirt, or at least hit that like or subscribe button for me. Let's get back to the work. So one of the first things that we need to do is turn off the water so that we can actually work on this. There is a couple places that you can turn the water off. Some people might think that over by your water softener, you could just turn that little handle there if you're lucky enough to have a shut off at your water system. But if you've watched my other video on water softeners, you'll see that the hoses on the outside of your house and the cold water in your kitchen are usually fed on their own water line. They do not come off of your water softener system. So if you do have a water softener system and you shut that off, your hose spigots will probably still work. So you need to shut the water off at your actual house supply. This should be where you see that little bell housing. It's your pressure regulator. You can actually shut it off there, or if you can go out to the street and shut it off at the water meter or the box in the front of your house. That is usually a pretty easy process. You just open that box, and then you can take a wrench and you just turn it, perpendicular to the pipe, and it's usually a quarter or half turn. Here at the house, we have that lever, and we're just going to turn it off there. I'm going to then release the pressure out of the pipe, open up the faucet, let that water run out. Once we have that done, we can then start working on it. So here at my hose spigot, you can see it says on the fitting that it's in, it says 3/4 inches on there, but again, the most common sizes are 3/4 inch or maybe 1/2 inch. I'm going to use a pipe wrench and a crescent wrench. These are some basic tools that you probably have around the house. The reason I'm using both is because I have a couple pieces coming off that are connected, and I want to hold on to that and stabilize it while I'm trying to twist off the old spigot. I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit tough, so I'm going to stabilize it there, and then I'm going to take the adjustable wrench and I'm going to gradually kind of give it some pressure. I want to make sure that I'm just stabilizing that pipe and I don't put any type of weird torsion on it where it's coming out of the house, and also where this is connected, because there's a water line that comes off that feeds our pool. I don't want to break any of that PVC, so I'm going to stabilize it with that wrench, and then I'm going to be able to take this off just as you would unscrew anything else. So luckily this came apart no problem. It was tight at first, but once I got it going, it came off easily. I'm going to clean out the threads, make sure that there is no gunk or old tape there. It looks like this one had tape on it, but there are a couple options when we're going to be sealing this up. You can go ahead and use the regular white tape that you see very commonly on a lot of plumbing fittings. That's actually rated to be okay outside. You can also use some compounds that are like a paste or a putty. There's this yellow one that a lot of times you'll see used for gas pipes, because the yellow is usually kind of associated to gas fittings. But if you read on there, it says it's suitable for potable water. Even though this is a hose spigot, it still will be okay, obviously, because it's good enough for potable water. But I'm going to go with this Monster Blue stuff. It's a little bit more expensive, and it's kind of a more high grade product, I guess, but I use this on everything now, and it's pretty easy, and I've had no problems with it. I've never had any leaks. I always just make sure that I put enough on the threads and then I wipe off what's excess at the end. But if you are going to be using tape, just make sure that you put that tape on there in a clockwise fashion while you're holding the threads, looking at the back at the threads. Put it on in a clockwise motion. That way, when you're screwing it in, it actually goes with the direction of which you put the tape on. That way, if you did it the other way and you start to turn it right, clockwise, it will undo the tape that you put on there and it'll start to bind up, and this will usually cause a leak. So put the tape on in a clockwise fashion, and that is usually how that is applied. But with the Monster Blue, I'm just going to apply it liberally all over the threads, and then I'm going to screw it in. You do not want to over tighten these, but you do want to make sure that they are tight. So tighten it all the way in, and then as you're getting to that last couple turns, start planning ahead and seeing where you're going to have that spigot facing the direction that you want. That way you don't find yourself in a spot where you've kind of over tightened it, but now you got to reverse it. This could sometimes also cause a leak. So just plan ahead, and as you see it starting to get tight, give it that last half turn or so to get it straight and vertical in the position that you want. Once we have that, we can go ahead and turn the water back on. I like to leave a faucet open nearby so that when you're opening up the water, you're not going to cause any type of water hammer, like the water pressure going back into the house system. So I like to leave a faucet open nearby, and I'll gradually turn that valve back on to the house. That way the water flow can kind of build up pressure a little bit slowly, and I can also have a relief where the faucet is at. It'll start kind of coming out of that faucet, and it has a little bit of room to escape. This is just me kind of being overcautious, but it's not a bad idea. I've seen people just slam it and turn it open, but again, you might cause some damage in your pipes by putting all that pressure in so fast. But I like to leave stuff open, turn it open slowly, then you can go turn that faucet off. Now we're gonna go check the one outside, and as we can see here, it's working perfectly, and we have no leaks around those threads. So the last step is just to kind of clean off those threads with a paper towel, and we're all done with replacing the spigot. The last step is just putting on that water brake, and this is very straightforward. There's nothing really technical about it. Just screw it on there, and then when we have the little set screw, just tighten that down, and that is just to kind of keep it in place so that when you're taking on or off a hose, you don't screw off that water brake with it. So that just kind of puts some pressure on those threads and keeps it in place. These usually have a little rubber gasket on the inside, so once you screw it down by hand, it should be watertight, and there should be no leaking at that fitting. Then you can just go ahead and use your water spigot as you would. And it's really just that easy. It should be pretty straightforward. This is an upgrade that I think is worth it, and you can turn it really quick, have full water pressure, and turn it right off. And you don't have to waste time sitting there cranking on that handle. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit like, consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you on the next build.